Okay, so welcome to month of May. Liran Hirschkorn here with you and Mansoor Nirazi. We're going to talk about new updates as it relates to Amazon e-commerce, all the things that we think are important for you to know as we head into the month of May. As always, there's always new things that are changing. A lot going on, obviously, in e-commerce these days, especially with tariffs. So we'll at least share some updates, and hopefully this is useful for you. You can feel free to give us any feedback you have on these videos. So with that, Mansoor, welcome. Let
Thank you so much.
let's get
And it has been a long time. I think we did this.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know when was it. It was December or whatever. We will make this regular. So happy to be back.
Yes, yeah, and sometimes we wait until we kind of have enough updates to record. But yeah, it's been a while and busy time, and yeah, I have a feeling. Yeah, I see what you're sharing here. So some new insights in the business sales dashboard.
So yeah, the first one is that I see this in some accounts. Some of them have started giving us some insights in the regarding the performance, AI insights regarding the performance. When you go to sales dashboard, it is not that drastic, I would say, amazing insights, but it is good to see that direction Amazon is taking. That in this case, for March, it says what was the revenue growth, or how you are trending, year over year growth. So there are good insights. And from what I remember from last Accelerate, I think it was, is we got to get to a point that you can easily chat with in Seller Central dashboard and ask any questions that, okay, tell me what's going on with my sales, any specific questions, week over week, ASIN related question. I would love to see that. And I think Amazon with all the improvement with AI, you're going to have it this year for
Yeah,
sure. Chat AI help that you can ask questions and get answers.
yeah, and it looks like this is whenever you see that kind of what is that diamond, it's like AI.
So that is the first. The next one is that this one is pretty good as well. There is a ASIN little deep dive. And when you go to just, I can show it from here because I know some people might not see that. If you go to sales and traffic or to the child level, in front of the ASIN, you can, if you look at if you click on the ASIN, you're going to be directed to this page, which you can see it dives deep into the ASIN. It gives you for any time period that you choose, not only the results that you have, also it shows you what you are doing from the sponsored product side for this product. So you have your ad cost, your ROAS, your clicks. It is amazing to see. The only thing I'm disappointed is that they don't have the parent level, and I don't think they're gonna anytime release that parent level data
Right.
because some, I think sellers keep changing the parents. I don't know if that's the reason, but they don't show the parent level. It's in a child level. And the reason I'm saying is that because for the when we advertise for a parent, they might focus on one ASIN or two ASINs. So then you go to that ASIN, you might see these low ROASs because and high spend because our focus in that ASIN. But the other child, you might not see much.
Right.
That is that. And here, then there are different KPIs you can see and kind of plotted on the graph. Interesting is part is that you can compare your performance. I was very excited. I'm like, oh, is this compared to the category? But seems like it is just compared to your own catalog. That is so far what I have realized. It is just comparing to your own catalog and how you are performing for in different percentiles of your own catalog. Maybe I'm wrong, but from my observation, seems like it is your own catalog with the category. Plus, you have some recommendation that products with declining sales, products with increasing sales, declining traffic products. So it is good to see some of these signals and see what's going on with your product.
Yeah, I would think that the compare your performance should be competitors just based on the language of what they're writing here. Compare your product's performance against similar products
Similar based on catalog attribute.
and price.
Right. I thought the same, but then in looking at the data for top ASINs, they are in a way lower that I'm like, no, that's either it is your own catalog or they are, because it's new, right? They are taped
Right.
certain ASINs in the category that it shows like that. For instance, in this case, which one is us? This is us.
The
Top
top 10 ASINs is the one all the way, the box all the way purple,
Yeah,
right?
in this case, it makes sense. It could make sense because the category is higher.
Right.
Honestly, I need more testing on this to make sure that's the category. In some cases, it doesn't make sense for me to category to be lower than us for the product.
Right.
So go ahead, check your own product and see if you can get the answer. But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool.
next update is a new deal, which was
Starting June.
starting June. They are pretty high in terms of the increase. I had a LinkedIn post about this. So here, let's look at a few examples. For instance, Lightning deal, we have 166. Now we are paying 70 per day. Let's say if you are running for 7 days, so 700 multiplied by 70 per day plus 1% of sales capped at 2,000. So
Right.
it is a drastic change. Of
Yeah.
course, if your deal is 1 day.
Well, this is Lightning Deal, right? So it's kind of weird to me that they even use that language because Lightning Deal is like, 6 hours or whatever. And Best
No,
Deal is
because you have the yeah, you're right.
best deal is more than 1 day.
Posted.
I guess they just listed that way for both of them, but
We're gonna consider this as 1 day, right? Yeah. just
yeah,
1 day.
1 day. So it's only good if you if you had very low sales, right? Where the 1% of sales doesn't reach that additional
I have a
7.
comparison. I'll show you that as
Yeah.
well, so we could see. But to your point, if it is short, the new kind of way might be cheaper. Other
Right.
than that, they don't see. I don't see this new
Yeah, it's mostly a way for Amazon to take more money from you.
right. Yeah. Well, at least the good thing is that for the lightning deals, for the peak events like Prime Day, Cyber Monday, for
Right.
those events, they haven't changed it. But for any other day, you have this new coupons. Used to be 60 cents per unit. Now it is $5 flat fee per coupon plus 2.5% of sales on redeemed coupon. Pretty, I would say, depends again to your pricing.
Right.
And I don't know if you go with 60 cents.
I think the break even is around the $25 price point.
So
And
24, yeah, 24. If you're at 24, you break even. If you're higher, this is going to be
right. Plus you have to sell enough obviously to cover that $5, which, also
right.
right. So, yes. But that's good if you are selling low price products. It's better, but generally again, I don't
And
like
Prime,
I don't like any of it.
I don't like it, and I
Yeah.
don't like Prime exclusive discount 2x. While we are here, I wanted to, since we are getting close to Prime days, we had a discussion with our team, and one of the client asked, "What do you recommend? Going with the Prime deals, going with Lightning deals, or going with Prime exclusive discount?" We got to a conclusion that I think it is good to mention here is that you can get the same badge when you run Prime exclusive discounts for Prime days. You could get exactly the same badge as you are running a deal, you are running event, Prime Day event deal. Now, here is the thing. You could run this and only pay $100. Well, as of
Right.
now, if you run it now, you're going to pay $60. Or you could run the lightning deals and pay the best deal or for events 500
Right.
or 1,000, yeah, because you're going to run for best. You could run for 1,000 or you could run for 50. There are upsides and downsides. The downside of Prime exclusive discount is that it's only for Prime members. So
Right.
not all the customers will see that, but with Best Deal, it is across the board. All the clients will see that. So I want to hear your thought here as well, but you got to the conclusion that if you had a hero ASIN that you know it's going to crush it, go with the Best Deal. Pay $1,000, go with the Best Deal, and you are visible to everyone. But if you have a product that it's not going to crush it, it's not your hero ASINs, maybe you could consider running Prime exclusive discount, because at the end of the day, in Prime Day deals, I don't know, I was reading somewhere that, or maybe one of our team members, pretty much 80% of the buyers in Prime Day events are
Our
Prime
Prime
members.
customers. Right.
That is something that I feel like brands could consider instead of running all of them with this deal. Maybe
Right.
be hybrid, some best deals, some Prime exclusive discount.
Yeah, and it's interesting because the one advantage I see is on a lightning deal because you have a countdown timer with the lightning deal. And if you have a good product and it's going to get, you have that social proof on how many people bought, I think that could be, interesting. The advantage of the best deal is that it lasts longer than
But
the
usually for Prime Day, I don't see most of the brands want to give coupon for the whole time period, right? I do
right
think they might run it, but Lightning is going to be for
shorter time period.
periods of shorter period of time. If they usually do that, yeah, for sure, makes sense.
Right. So that's only advantage. Otherwise, we see people doing very well with the Prime exclusive discounts. And if you don't have deals available or you want to change, like you can do the Prime exclusive discounts up to the day of,
Yeah,
and that's an advantage also, especially with trying to figure out your inventory levels, tariffs. You can make a game time decision as opposed to deals where you have to submit it at a certain date and then you could always cancel it, but you cannot then activate it again.
yeah.
Unlike Prime exclusive discounts. So I like the Prime exclusive discounts overall. I think you can still sell on, like you said, most of the buyers, 80% of the buyers are Prime. So
Which, yeah, and you gotta be, it's case by case for your brand. And I would take a hybrid approach between the best deal and Prime.
right, like you
And,
might put your best seller on a best deal and the rest on Prime
right.
exclusive.
And here's just a few examples that I had. You can see that the deals based on the sales, this is the total amount of sales.
Right.
And yeah, and the deal's duration. So old fee, for instance, here, it was supposed to
Mm.
be 300 for 40K sales.
And now,
But just as an example, 4 days and 40K, now it is 600.
right.
Or even it's 10,000 for 7 days. It was supposed to be 300. It's going to go to 590.
Yeah. It's like, why does Amazon more and more becoming a partner in your business? They're already taking a commission on the sales, you know?
And even coupon code. Like,
Yeah.
I calculated based on the sales that you get and price of $30. You can see these comparison that pretty much in this price point and this amount of sales.
Which, you kind of think like, it's also to Amazon's advantage to have low prices and deals and coupons on the platform. Yeah. Now, you could take the contrarian approach, which is that if this becomes enough of a pain point for sellers, for those that do run deals, you should have more visibility, less competition that are constantly running deals. And, I could see how that could also be an advantage, right? Like
Right.
if you're running a deal and less competitors are running deals, then you could drive more sales and end up more profitable as a result. So pros and cons.
Yeah, makes sense. Next, we have this interest AI, which is, it's kind of, I would say, it's like a Spotify playlist that you have for your weekends. So you could say what you are interested in, maybe products, tech related products, I don't know, for kitchen. So Amazon is going to list all those products that are
Yeah.
based on your definition. You can see the list. Plus, they are gonna give you kind of notification in the future that, oh, by the way, that's my just assumption. here is a new product added to this list. So it is dynamic. It keeps getting updated and it's a list that you have saved. Or probably you will get some ads in the future that this one, which is in this list, has a coupon code, has a deal. So there are so many ways I feel like Amazon could work on this. And it is interesting progress for this. I haven't seen it yet in action or how people are using it. In Canada, we don't have it yet. Have you seen this?
Oh, I haven't seen it, and, I was just clicking around now to, see if I have it on my Amazon, but I don't see it. Although when I click on Rufus, it does give me some suggestions, and it's telling me, like, find deals for me, show me the deals with biggest savings, get suggestions, comparisons, and it gives me some keywords and stuff, but I don't see the interest AI.
Right.
I'm asking.
It's in beta, so it's
Yeah.
just yes, people have access. It shows that how Amazon is evolving, how audience targeting is becoming more important because you want to be in front of the audience. This is not just keyword searching.
Right.
People are not keyword. It's kind of Amazon's proactively putting the product in front of them. So you want to be in front of these audiences. And also the importance of optimizing toward Rufus and AI with the semantic
Yes.
optimization.
Which we did a webinar around, and it might be on YouTube if you want to see it. If you don't find it, send me a message.
The next one is the RUFUS. It is showing up in more and more places. One example that we see under the product gallery images. And interestingly, the first question is, what do customers say, right? It could have a very big impact. Look at this, like I just that, and it has like spray quality, leakage, value for money. Kind of, it could right away impact the customer's decision on are they going to purchase this product or not. So that's something else to look and also to see for your product, for your competition, see what are the questions that showing up under the listing. Try to see if you could kind of take a approach to answer these questions in Q&A in your listings, in your images, in your product detail, to make sure you are covering those main points that customers might have and putting in front of them.
Yeah, and look at your competitors, and if you have a listing that has a lot of reviews, some of these questions will be answered just based on, does it leave any residue? You may not have answered it, but maybe a customer does. Ultimately, I mean, you want less of, you want more control, but I would include it in your text or in your images, even though Rufus may not pick up from the images, but I would include it there. If you don't have a lot of reviews, chances are, several questions it may not know the answer to, and so it's good to make sure you're, including it. I've gone to listings and asked questions, and that's something that I knew about the product, but that I couldn't easily find in the listing, and I didn't know.
Right.
And then gave feedback to our client to add it in their images. So, like, there was a product that was kosher, and I didn't really see it anywhere in the listing that they listed that it was kosher. And on the image, it was super super tiny, couldn't even see it. And when I asked the question, "Is it kosher?" Rufus didn't know, and I went to our customer and told them to kind of,
Interesting.
to add it. It's a selling point.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
And one
Uh,
thing that I always consider is I feel like Rufus might prioritize answers from the customers. So the Q&A section in the listing, it's just my feeling that Amazon might prioritize that because it says, okay, that's the real answer. So
right.
you don't hear it here, but if you have a way of asking questions, read these questions in another way and answering there, it might be more valuable as well.
Yeah.
So the next update is track and prevent product return batch. What Amazon has done here is, I'll show you in the next slide, is in the health dashboard, they are showing you these badges. If you have got the badge in the listing for I don't remember what
Frequently returned. That's
for
right.
the return. Yeah, frequently return. Yes, thank you. If you have that, or if it is at risk, so you can go there and see what's going on, and based on that, be reactive, be proactive, and change that. This is the dashboard you can see here. For instance, for this one, for this ASIN, it says it is at risk. There was another product in the list that didn't add a screenshot. it already had the patch. So
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm not seeing it here, but initially Amazon, you see this return rate. Initially, Amazon started adding what is the return rate of the category. So the goal was for you to be lower than that. I don't
Right.
know why it's not showing up anymore, but that was a kind of threshold for you to keep eye on that.
Yeah. And ultimately, I mean, you have to, a lot of times it's adding some educational content. We had a client that has a toothpaste with hydroxyapatite, which is a newer ingredient, nanohydroxyapatite, which is newer. It's an inactive ingredient that can help prevent cavities. And the FDA does not allow you to, if you also have fluoride in your product, the FDA does not allow you to list it on the bottle itself. And since it's an inactive ingredient, it can't be in under the ingredients, and they have it on their box, but they don't have it in the ingredients on the, or on the tube, because you're not allowed to. And they got some negative reviews because people are saying, hey, it's not, hydroxyapatite. So I think now they've added something to the listing to say it's, inactive, like more prominently displayed on the box, and that to make sure they're showing that it is in there and it's an inactive ingredient, and, can't be listed as part of the ingredients, and kind of giving, a lot of times it's education that the consumer needs to know. Or you have a product problem that's a bigger problem and you need to solve, but it could be sizing, could be, issues that people are dealing with that you need to solve. Because I think the frequently returned badge is a conversion killer, unless you have maybe a really cheap product and people don't mind, $5, I'm going to throw it out if it doesn't work, whatever. But otherwise, it's a big detriment to your listing.
Yeah, 100%. And you can find that under performance and select voice of customers dashboard. Even here, it says that compare your performance to our suggested benchmarks, but I
May
saw it
want
initially, but I'm not seeing the benchmark anymore. Might when you click on details, you might see it, but I haven't seen that anymore. Oh,
Okay.
this is interesting. New wine policy. You
Yes.
want to go over it?
Yes. And I have some like maybe some new insights on it, but that I've seen just this week. But basically, the few things going on here. When you have a new product on Amazon, or actually any product that has less than 30 reviews, you can enroll it in the Vine program. The Vine program, basically, in the back end of it, has Amazon has these trusted buyers. You're able to give them free units. You don't know who they are. They choose it from a back end catalog, back end login. Amazon will ship them the product, and it'll just show up as a $0 sale in your orders. And you can give away up to 30 units of your product. And those customers will generally write reviews on your listing. Now, the what was kind of a hack to do was, because you can only enroll up to 30 products per parent listing. Like if you were to do, all the ASINs under a parent, you can still do only 30 units. We would advise, and many people did this, advise customers, if you're rolling out a product and you have a 4-ounce version, an 8-ounce version, you're going to have them as variations. Set them up as separate listings and enroll them in Vine, and then you can immediately merge them, and then you'll end up getting 60 reviews. If you launch 5 variations times 30, you can have 150 reviews kind of off the bat starting to come in. Based on, I think, more and more people doing this, Amazon came out with some language. Now, the language is very interesting because in this language, Amazon is not telling you that you can't set up separate listings and then merge them. But what they are saying is, when you merge 2 or more separate parent ASINs under a new parent ASIN, only the maximum number of reviews for your highest enrollment tier will be retained. For example, if you merge 2 products that enrolled in the top tier with 30 reviews each, your new parent ASIN will retain only the 30 highest quality reviews. So basically what they're saying is, you have 2 products, you have 60 reviews from Vine, you combine them, Amazon will only show the 30 reviews they think are the best quality, probably based on the length, based on the reviewer itself, based on the AI picking up language and what they think is high quality, maybe images, if it has video, whatever they think is considered highest quality. At the same time, I'm in some private forums, and I've seen people sort of ask about this just this past week. And people are still saying, hey, I've done this recently. It still works. I'm still seeing the reviews. So I think maybe the enforcement or the, how it's being enforced maybe is not in every case or not really yet being enforced. And from the policy and the language that I see here, Amazon is not saying this is considered a manipulation and it's a violation of our terms of service. The language just says if you merge them, we'll only keep the highest thing. So if you don't mind possibly losing some of those reviews, you don't have, you're not sending out a $200 product where you're like, hey, I may lose these reviews. I think maybe you still can try it. It doesn't seem to me like it's against, because ultimately, what if you made a originally thought they should be separate and then you combine them, right? Like you can't really tell somebody that it's a manipulation. Maybe you just didn't combine them to begin with. So I think for now it may still be working, but it may not. It's kind of the answer, but definitely a new policy. Amazon is trying to maybe prevent this accumulation of of reviews through like hacking this system.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Next, I want to go to advertising, a few of advertising updates. The first one is that this was very good. I really loved it. Is that Amazon saying you can create audiences from even paid version of their paid features of the table. For instance, Amazon Insights is a paid table which gives you the organic results, and you can query the organic traffic and organic events. With this new approach, what happens is that if I turn this on, you can query even from the ones that you have to subscribe. So for free, you can query from these tables to create audiences. But if you go to the insights, if you go to the query editor, these tables are not there because they are paid. You can't have access to them. But Amazon is giving you for free this, saying, if you want to create audiences, go ahead, use this one. I have an example that creating audiences lookalike to your subscribe and save customers with more than 2 orders, right? You have, in a normal situation, when you didn't have these tables for free, we couldn't do this query because subscribe and save audiences are in the Amazon. There is this table, conversion all for audiences, which we didn't have access unless you paid. But now we have access to all the accounts that have AMC, and you can query anything that you want from those.
Yeah, amazing. So then basically you can create that audience and you can run ads, just to those audiences, right? And
Yeah, run. And well, in terms of sponsored product and sponsored brand, we can add advertisements for them.
right.
But with sponsored display, you could directly target those customers. So in this case, I was saying that, let's say these are your most valuable customers, some of your most valuable customers who have subscribed and say, purchase more than 3 times, because this is the 2 orders after the first order. Purchase more than 3 times, so they are purchasing from you, and they just didn't take advantage of the discount code and canceling. Go create lookalike audience to these people and target, see what the results are.
And you can also target them with additional products that you have, right? Because they're your loyal customers who like your brand. Or you can just stay top of mind for them too with like retention ads to, it's like if I see it, oh, I didn't take my fish oil today. Like I just saw an ad for it, I should take it, right? Like keep consuming and using the product. In fact, you could target ads to them of just like, have you taken your fish oil today? You could do some interesting things as retention. Now, Mansoor, I know with, like you said, sponsored product, sponsored brand, you can create a tier where you increase the bid to this audience. You said on display, you can target it. Is that, you could do this I know you could do it in DSP. You can do this now also in sponsored display ads as well?
Yeah, sponsored display ads, you can directly target the way you target ASINs. You can directly target these audiences. And actually, maybe a good news for anyone who's listening, I was thinking we could have a YouTube or webinar just going to the AMC dashboard and going over everything and covering the stuff that is easy for everyone to implement.
Yeah.
For that, so show you how you could get insights without query, right? Just ready the templates that Amazon has ready for you. I think they have made it a bit for AMC in the industry. They have made it a bit look very complex, but there are very easy stuff
Right.
that you can do without knowledge of SQL.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's great because AMC is now kind of for everybody, where until it was introduced for sponsored products, sponsored brands, it really wasn't for everybody. So it's a good opportunity.
Bro, neglect this title, but now we have Amazon in the sponsored product. I saw that this sites segment is added when you're creating the content. Now Amazon allows you to create a sponsored product that only shows up, the ads only shows up to the business customers. So you can see at sites, this is easily, this is what you had the old way, Amazon and
Right.
everywhere. But this one is just for business
Business.
customers. So if you are a brand that you have a good amount of business customers purchasing from you, you could just directly target those, be in front of those
Yeah.
customers.
And honestly, it's worth testing, right?
Yeah.
Even if you don't have, like, maybe business customers spend more, spend more, etc. It's worth testing that.
And my assumption is that the reason they have named the sites is that we know they are partnering up with other platforms. So
Right.
in the future, I'm guessing they will add those platforms here, and right away you say, okay, this is for Amazon, or no, this is for, I don't remember
Right.
who they partner up with. So they add those sites here. You can directly.
A- And you have off Amazon, like they have deals with like Pinterest and other,
Right.
off Amazon websites where your ads could show up.
Exactly. So there's a reason they named it sites, which,
Right.
yeah. So another news is that we know for anyone who has AMC, it could create
Audiences.
audiences. But I notice even if you don't have for all the brands, for most of the brands, if you don't have AMC, Amazon is giving you this segment for audiences. There are 3 predefined audiences that you can increase your bid. For instance, here one is purchase brands product. Customers who purchase brands product in, I think, last 6 months or something like that. If you hover over this I information, it's going to give you exact detail. The other one is highly likelihood of purchase. Amazon says based on the activities you see from these customers, probably you are going to purchase. And finally, clicked or added brand's product to cart, but didn't purchase in last 3 months. So these are the 3 ones that are predefined for everyone as being added. I'm guessing they will add more, but even
And
if you
do you
don't
need
have
to have AMC set up for this or no?
no, this is an
No.
account that has no AMC. So Amazon
So
already
everyone should have this.
predefined, yeah, audiences for all the brands. By the way, on the other news, Amazon seems like gonna add soon the AMC segment by default for all the accounts. Right now, we request to be added, but seems like they are gonna roll out and add the AMC dashboard for all the accounts by default in the advertising console. Next update is that we always were complaining when Amazon started opening up the off Amazon impression. We were complaining that why we can't control it. They have, seems like they listen to some extent. They have added this option, optimize off Amazon ads to maximum reach or minimum spend. So
All right.
if you are not seeing results, we could just click on minimum spend to make sure we are not spending much for in those
Right.
accounts for the off brand. And the other news is that in sponsored brand, now we have a new to brand bid adjustment, meaning when we create the campaign, you could say increase bid for audience built by Amazon. And one of the audiences is new to brand shoppers. So you can say, if this run my ad, if this customer is new to brand, they haven't purchased from my brand, in this case, increase my bid for 100%. So it seems like Amazon more and more adding to the options of lead.
By the way, Mansoor, do you think that is a good way to maybe deal with branded searches? So somebody looking for your brand who bought before, I don't really, they're more likely, even if I'm not at the top, to come back and just buy. But if they're searching for my brand and never bought from me before, then I want to make sure I'm in front of them. Maybe I can minimize some of your branded spend.
Yeah, the way I think about is that I want to be in front of everyone, even because I was looking at some data and it changed my mind. There is this brand that you have. They are very popular, like they have a good amount of branded searches. They had in 1 month, they had 30,000 customers who search for their brand. 10,000 of those customers drop off. They didn't do anything.
Right.
Didn't go to the page. So I'm like, does it really work for us to be efficient, but then lose 10,000? Even if you can get 10% of those customers, still, it is 1,000 people.
But the
And
question
really,
is, the question is, were as prominent or were as not prominent?
right. I think we are prominent there. But the way I would look at it is that we actually discussed about this. Instead of running product collection ads that customers click on the products, run a different type of ads that takes the whole spot, and anywhere customer clicks, you are forcing them to go to the product, to the store.
Storefront.
What is the benefit? If they don't click, you don't lose any money, but you are taking that spot. It's for awareness. Your
Right.
channel is not there. If they click, somehow they're interested, and also you are sending them to your customized store. There's all those products that they can see. I'm saying that I think that even if it's a repeat customer, well, I'm forcing them to see my other products from the store. So
Right.
I would say, yeah, I would love to take that spot no matter
Well,
what.
then based on that, would you say that owning sponsored brands in that case is better than owning sponsored products? Like if I had to choose, I'm going to spend I have branded dollars. I'm only doing one ad type. Would you go sponsor brand or sponsor product? Or you
I
would
would go
consider?
sponsor brand strategically. That
Right.
part. It's about to forcing them to the store. Because as I mentioned, the good thing is that even if they don't click, I have that big spot. I don't spend anything. I bring awareness. But if they
Right.
click, the chance of them, I show them all of my catalog and it's better. If I want to minimize it, I'll definitely have the sponsor brand. Yeah, I'll choose if you same answer, you have to choose one, I'll
Right.
choose sponsor brand.
Right. Okay.
Even
Just
mobile. Think about mobile, like
right.
go
It's
on.
very, very, very prominent. I mean,
Mm.
brands don't have to choose, but it's just interesting to get the take on understanding why, because you're going to force them to go to the storefront. No other competitor ads there, showcase, especially if you have a good, decent sized catalog, right? It's a good opportunity.
September 16 to 18. So anyone who wants to attend, I think sir is a good
I
event.
expect that I will be there, hopefully. So yeah, it'd be great to meet anybody there. It's a really, really, really big show. I think it's worth attending. And you can speak to some teams there at Amazon that you could not get to ever in any other way. So
I
that is
think you did
that's
last time actually,
I
right?
did. Yes. Yeah, I had a 2-hour meeting with Amazon compliance that is, I would never be able to get. In fact, the person I spoke to after had to give me a special mailbox that they set up for Accelerate. She could not give me her direct email. And I think that's because they don't want people to be bribed or whatever. I don't, we've had people indicted for that before. So, but yeah, I think it's that you can set up appointments in advance with they have this cafe type hours with employees at Amazon and to see a lot of vendors, a lot of talks, it's a good event to go to. And it's also fun. They do a good job in setting it up. So definitely a good event to go to. Amazing.
Yeah, that was a wrap up of the updates.
Amazing. This was great. Hope that you got some value out of this, and we will see you on the next call.